Professor Zhang, over to you again. Please go ahead.
Yeah, it's okay. Can I start?
Yes, please do. Please.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much for your invitation to my presentation. Yeah, today the topic is for the secondary cities development. I prepared 8 for Chinese experience. For China, I think the secrets for secondary cities development are not only related to cities system, but also related to the institutional system of China since 1978 reform. Today, I think I will talk 5 points about the secrets of Chinese experience. First, before 2000, I concluded as rural urbanization and rural industrialization. What is rural industrialization? I think you are familiar the phrase leaving for the peasants, leaving the farm without leaving the countryside. What the rural urbanization means, which is that entering the factories without entering the cities. Yeah, this happened before 2000 in China, but it has its background. By the end of the 1970s, the economy and society were recovering after 10 years of disorder in China. People's demand for commodities was increasing, but state-owned factories could not supply enough. The state-owned economic system is not easy to reform in cities. Then many small factories are emerged in small towns, which is rural centers, absorbing rural laborers who work at the factory but stay at their own rural housing. But from 2000, our government policy changed to support the development of selected towns, not all small towns. In 2021, now China's latest policy for small towns is to take it as a rural service center, not a development pole. Yeah, this is the first point. The second point I want to talk is to improve power of the national government by tax sharing system in 1990s. Chinese government set up a new tax sharing system between national and local governments in 1994. The national share increased from no more than 20% in 1993 to more than 50% in 1994. And then the national 50% share continues to now. You can see the figure, the change happened in 1993 and 1994 is very clear. Because of the strong national tax share, almost all investments in expressway and railway construction, namely big projects, are invested by the national or provincial government. We can see the figure showed in the screen. This is the Chinese expressway system, which has more than 150,000 kilometers in 2020, more than 50% than that in USA. We can compare that with Japan and the Korean expressway system. And then the high-speed railway system is beyond 38,000 kilometers in 2020. Yeah, that is a huge system. Nearly all of them were invested by national and provincial government. The third point is to the new urban land use rights market in 1990s and housing reform in 2000s are shaping. National government tax share is high, but the land sale income belongs to local government. Yeah. We know in China, urban land is owned by the state. These ownership rights cannot be transferred, but the local governments can sell the land using rights to private sectors since the beginning of 1990s, which is a reform for land. Yeah, local governments use the gain from the land using rights ceiling to invest in public utilities, including schools, hospitals, libraries, and parks, except the normal tax sharing. Yeah. The land use rights market is set up, but the demand for land is not enough, including for industry and housing in 1990s in China. So from 1998 to 2002, the Chinese government therefore reformed its housing system from state-owned to market-based, which means all families needed to secure housing from the market and not from the national distribution as before. At the same time, Chinese urbanization speed is very high at that time. So the Chinese urbanization pushed up the housing market, which makes housing land more valuable. We can see now in Shanghai, a housing use land about 10,000 meters square is worth more than 140 million US dollars. Yeah, we can imagine how much can be earned for local government. Yeah, so the first is to make industry land more valuable by joining global manufacturing market in 2000. We know Chinese government signed the documents for WTO in the end of 1999. Then China becomes a global factory. Yeah. The industry development creates an industry land market for local government. The industry development also supplies enough jobs for migration from the countryside, which means absorbing the rural released labors. Yeah. Then the bottom-up driving force is shaping. It's unlocked to make local government to develop themselves by supplying industry land, housing land, and then can get enough income. Yeah. The fifth is to develop the coastal region first, then the inland region. Yeah. The experience from China, the regional strategy is to develop east first since 1978. Then after 2000, develop west strategy. Then in 2004, develop central region and northeast region. Then and in 2017, national government published a rural revitalization strategy to develop the countryside. So different policies in different period. Yeah. But the marketing force would push developed area to be more developed. Until now, regional disparities and urban-rural disparities still exist in China. We can see the figure at the right, which shows the top 30 migration flows among China's 31 provinces in 2010. Migration from inland China, from inland countryside, is congested to coastal regions. Even now, yeah, from the end of 1990s until now, yeah. The left table shows the secondary cities share of urbanization and GDP increase. Yeah. The latest data is that secondary cities contribute 60% for Chinese urbanization since 1978 and 40% for GDP increase